Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. I got a video today from HL Talk That Thought. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. Let's get that chow. Chow, chow. Again, I always say it in front of HL's videos, but they're all the same women. It's just her archiving all of her stupidity.
I just found out that my boyfriend of 2.5 years has a 2-year-old. Sorry.
Wait, so you didn't know he had a kid before? This is the same type of thing that women always try to pull on men, too.
I'm so devastated. I have no problem being with someone who has kids. I just wasn't expecting this.
Yeah.
When I post this, I don't even know if we'll still be together.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but this game that you got played by is the same game that women love to play with men, just hiding the fact that they have kids, and then when the man gets fully attached and, you know, is ready to give his resources, then they drop the bomb.
I hope it works out. I hope it works out. I'm really sad. I don't want to lose my best friend. I just dropped my kids off to my ex-husband. He's literally the biggest asshole. Like, the fact that he still has friends, or the people that we were friends with are still in his life, blows my mind, because I'm like, how could you guys be friends with someone who's literally such an asshole?
Welcome back, family. Today we are going to see yet another modern woman who decided to divorce her husband so that she can go chase after Chad and Tyrone. But everything went south when she realizes that her Chad boyfriend lied to her while living a double life. But before the tears of regret and witnessing how she got played by Chad, let's first start by watching her bragging about how she divorced her ex-husband.
When I first
Making a video about bragging about divorcing someone is... it's diabolical work.
told my ex-husband that I wanted a divorce, he was in shock. So when I finally came around to wanting to divorce my ex-husband, it was November of 2020. We were coming up on Thanksgiving and Christmas and his birthday and my daughter's second birthday. And I just was like, I'm going to wait till all those things are done. Like, we get along for the most part. Like, I've totally checked out, but it's not like we're like not getting along, or he's a...
See, well, this is why Red Pill and the Manosphere niche and everything say it. When women leave you, they left you a while ago. They've already decided a while ago. They just didn't pull the trigger.
Abusive or anything like that. And then, man, do I wish I remember what he was upset about. So he's upset one night about something super, super trivial. Like, oh, I didn't do his laundry. Oops. Oh, I didn't do his laundry, or there wasn't toilet paper, or just something like so minute. So he we sit down after the kids go to bed, and I'm like, okay, we went to the couples therapy, we want to try to communicate. It's like, hey, something's clearly bothering you, like, what's going on? So I'm sitting there quietly, letting him talk. And he's going on and on and on. I wish I remember what it was. About something just so trivial that he was upset about, and I just sat there silent. So he finishes talking, it's my turn, because that was one of the only things I used to do. That was my downfall, was I would interrupt during a conversation, so I was quiet.
Oh, so you interrupt every other time, but the time you finally decide you want to leave the man, you stopped interrupting?
It's my turn to speak, and literally my response was, well, I guess it's time for us to separate. His response literally was, I didn't see that one coming. Like I mentioned, I had been planning on leaving him, so shortly before we separated, our daughter had outgrown her crib, and so I had already put the kids in one bedroom, and so we literally had an extra bedroom with a king-size bed that became his bedroom. I don't really remember our whole conversation, other than I just remember him begging me to not leave him. And I just was like, you know what? I need some time. I need some space. I need you to sleep in the other bedroom tonight. And I kid you not, I wake up the next morning.
How much things do you need to do for your eyebrows? Holy cow.
To him bringing me breakfast in bed, coffee, he had the kids all taken care of, the house was all clean, and I literally only had one request from him every single week. Was there was a certain day of the week where it was in between his work days. All I wanted was for him to bring me a cup of coffee in the morning and deal with the kids, and trying to get his ass out of bed to give me a hand, he literally would sigh and then go and do it for me. And so for him to suddenly start bringing me breakfast in bed and coffee, I was like, absolutely not. And then again, suddenly he was like doing all this stuff around the house. And I was like, this is not okay. So I don't even think this went on for more than like 2 weeks before I just literally could not handle him trying to dote on me.
Fellas, never, ever, ever beg a woman when she is trying to leave
Agreed.
you. If she asks you for a separation, just say, okay, and do not even argue or ask why. You will thank me later. Because if you try to talk her out of it, she will even be less attracted to you. But let us watch her finish bragging about how she divorced her ex-husband and destroyed her own family, thinking that she could do better.
This is part 2 of me explaining how my ex-husband reacted when I told him I wanted a divorce. Like I was saying, there were about 2 weeks after we were separated, but we were still living in the same house, separate bedrooms, that he was doting on me hand and foot, trying to do all these things to like win me back. And I was like, bro, it is so late. Day late and a dollar short, sweetheart. And then after he moved out, it just kind of went downhill from there. He was definitely being heavily influenced by his parents, which is so ironic because his mom was a pastor at a church that we went to. And then I ended up serving him papers in January. That was how long it took for me to like get all the court papers, because originally I tried just using like a filing service where they just like filed your paperwork for you, and it's for people who like got along, could cooperate. But then after a couple of months of him like not turning in paperwork and just literally like refusing to cooperate with me, I had to finally get a lawyer. Come to find out, my light just went off. Come to find out, he actually drug the divorce out because he was thinking I was going to come back to him. Almost a year and a half after I first told him I wanted a divorce, we're still trying to get divorced, and he's literally just dragging.
It's like she's so proud of it, right? She's happy that she destroyed this man's ego, this man's like behavior patterns, everything.
It out. And so I send him a text message one day and I go, does your girlfriend know you have a wife? And then shortly after that message, his lawyer finally scheduled some sort of like a status conference, because he like didn't want to go to court because he's a police officer and didn't want like anyone that he knows from court to see him. So he kept like trying to dodge court, but also wouldn't work with me on the side. It was really, really frustrating. I guess 2 years and 4 days to get divorced.
How much things do you need to put on your eyebrows? Holy cow. You've put on like 4 different products. You put on saran wrap on your face 2-3 times. Thank God I got these gorgeous motherfuckers right here.
We even had like a status conference, I think in June of 2022, where we like finally settled on like who was taking what and what the terms of the kids' arrangement was and all this stuff. And it sat at his lawyer's office for 3 months. Like even his lawyer was like dragging it out. Like, well, maybe she'll change her mind. I have no idea.
We could all see the excitement of this woman's face while she was literally talking about destroying her own family. These modern women are so heavily incentivized by the state to divorce their husbands to the point that they find joy in it. And it is all because they truly believe that they will easily find a better man out there waiting to commit to them.
True.
Now, let's see how that turned out for her, because the Chad she was running after was literally living a double life under her nose.
I just found out that my boyfriend of 2.5 years has a 2-year-old.
See, I didn't realize this was like how it was.
Sorry. And no, he didn't cheat on me. He knocked up some woman like a month before we started dating. And he just found out, and I just found out. And
Congratulations.
from the information that I have,
You played yourself.
she was planning on like doing IVF. She didn't think she could have kids. She was gonna do a sperm donor, that whole situation. And she's like freezing her eggs. And so I guess he thought she couldn't have kids. I don't know. They thought she couldn't have kids, so they didn't obviously use protection. I'm trying to not speculate and wonder if she like used him as her sperm donor. She's literally 10 years older than he is, and
Sounds plausible.
supposedly very successful and very powerful, and he's very smart, very handsome. So I guess she thought he would just sign his rights over. So she called him up and wanted him to do that, and he was like, no, he wants to be involved. So I'm like processing my world literally being turned upside down. again.
Again, this fake crying that we can already tell that it's fake crying.
I'm like trying to be supportive, but also I'm just like, this is wild. Absolutely wild.
We got a couple tears.
Oh, and I think my biggest issue is that like I am gonna be a top shelf stepmom. And
She got jokes.
and right now I would say he's like the dollar menu stepdad to my kid.
You're more like the dollar menu stepmom.
He has like no relationship with them, and I haven't really pushed it. And yeah, so I don't know, becoming a dad is gonna make things better. I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm so devastated. I have no problem being with someone who has kids. I just wasn't expecting this.
Oh, it seems to be a problem for sure.
We've been like house shopping, and I just thought, I just didn't see this in my bingo card. So I will give an update or maybe answer questions. I don't know. When I post this, I don't even know if we'll still be together, and I hope it works out. I hope it works out. I'm really...
Isn't it crazy how many of these women? HL Talk That Thought literally has an archive of videos of women like this divorcing, regretting, crying on the internet, and then half of them are begging for their husbands back. More than half of them actually are. This is the modern woman playbook. This is it right here. Marry, divorce after a couple kids, get ran through by Chad, and then regret it after a few years of grass is not greener than the other side. Love you, HL Talk That Thought. Keep archiving these women. We're going to have a big library of hundreds and thousands of women.
Really sad. I don't want to lose my best friend.
You guys can clearly see that this woman is being played by Chad, but yet she is still in denial that she is just a side chick. Here is another video of her still in denial of being just a pump and dump.
It's been 36 hours since I found out I was going to be a stepmom. My boyfriend found out he has a 2-year-old, and we've been together for...
You're fucking dumb. Just because your boyfriend and girlfriend doesn't make you a stepmom, by the way.
For 2.5 years. No, he didn't cheat on me. Just the woman he knocked up right before we met decided to use him as his sperm donor. And no, I am not jealous whatsoever. I am just in the anger phase of the grieving process that this woman would be this selfish and not care that he had a life and has a life.
Oh, you're one to talk.
And I'm really proud of him for stepping up, and I've always said, you know, if I was gonna have another baby daddy, I would have wanted it to be him, because I always knew that even if we weren't together, he would have been a great dad, and he would have made things easy on the mom even if they weren't still together. And so he is proving himself to be who I thought he was, so I am definitely proud of him. I'm very angry at this woman because my life literally got turned upside down, and his life got turned upside down, and just wasn't really what I thought was in the cards. The irony was, about 6 months ago, I was like, hey, like, have you thought about, you know, getting a vasectomy? And he was like, no. And I was like, oh, I'm surprised you've never thought about getting a vasectomy. Like, you don't want kids and you don't want to have to pay child support. And he was like, yeah, I've never really thought of it. And I go, you know that women, like, trap men in relationships or trap men by getting pregnant, right? And he just was like, it never dawned on him. So I feel bad. So all the men out there, if you're watching this, if you don't want to have children, make it so you can't have children, so that you're not in a situation like this one day with the woman that you love.
Now, after finally accepting that her Chad was just lying to her, she comes to the conclusion that her ex-husband was actually a better man than all the men she is meeting in these streets. Check it out.
Okay, hot take, but my ex-husband is the best boyfriend that I've ever had. You might be like, what? But let me explain, right? He was such a good boyfriend, but he was a terrible husband. But he was such a good boyfriend that he made me think he was gonna be a good husband. Like, now that I'm back out in the dating world, I'm like, wow, my ex-husband was a really good boyfriend. And like, I referred to my ex-husband when he was my boyfriend in front of my son the other day, and he looks at me, he's like, my dad was your boyfriend? I was like, yeah, once upon a time. And I always catch myself telling people like, yeah, he was a great boyfriend. Like, he did all the things. He just was not a good husband. And now that I'm like back out in the dating world with like the whole situation with my ex-boyfriend, I'm like, how does that happen? I'm like comparing.
Because you're chasing after this subset of men that just know what to do. They know what to say to you. They know how to lie. They know how to finesse everything. It's called game. Or
like,
I guess nowadays they call it Riz.
20-year-old Rebecca to 33-year-old Rebecca. And I'm like, oh my gosh, literally my ex-husband did all the things as a boyfriend that everyone wants. Which is sad because I'm like, there's all of these men in their 30s. And my ex-husband is a better boyfriend. Like, I think
Grass ain't greener.
I've lost hope.
These modern women are so quick to divorce their husbands because they think that they can just replace them easily with another better man. But after reality hits them in their faces like a ton of brick, they come fast to the realization that their ex-husband was actually the catch. Now, all they do is being jealous and bitter every time they see their ex-husbands thriving. Check it out.
I just dropped my kids off to my ex-husband. He's literally the biggest asshole. Like, the fact that he still has friends, or the people that we were friends with are still in his life, blows my mind, because I'm like, how could you guys be friends with someone who's literally such an asshole?
The person that divorced and ruined the family, I think, is more the asshole.
And my kids are crying. I like cannot wait until they get to an age where they can like decide who they want to be around or not be around. I don't know what.
Yeah, they're probably not gonna pick you.
What his deal is right now. He's just been like literally the biggest a-hole to me. He owes me a bunch of money from like half of like activities and school stuff, and so I don't know if that's what his deal is. I'm always like, bro, your alimony ends in a couple months, like get over it. Like, I don't know what your problem is.
Oh, so this man was paying you alimony this whole time. What the hell?
But I just
Broke,
definitely not what I
dusty,
saw on my
musty,
bingo
crusty.
card. My divorce bingo card was not being able to co-parent with my ex-husband. I always tell people, I'm like, the easiest way to explain the way he treats me is you would think that he caught me in bed with his best friend. That's the easiest way. That's what's wild. Okay, I feel better. Thank you. I gotta get that out. I needed to get some tears out. I woke up today so motivated. I was like, I'm gonna drop them off. I'm gonna do all these stuff, all these things, create all this content, do all this, and then on the drive over. Also, July was like the worst month of my life. This last July was, which is wild because every single July I've had something happen from a selfish person that just completely flips my life upside down. I just like can't talk about it yet. So anyway, bye.
You can clearly see that she is not saying specifically what her ex-husband did when she dropped the kids for her to just be so upset and angry at him right now. And that is what you call jealousy and bitterness. And that is what always going on with modern women. They are literally projecting how they are feeling at the moment onto you. They are unhappy with or without a man for most of the time, and that is why they keep on making bad decisions after bad decisions with their lives. I would like to ask you to pay attention at the images you are watching right now on your screens. This woman is clearly showing us the life they portray on social media versus how their lives really are in real life. I always tell you that these modern women are all crying and suffering behind closed doors. But when they post in social media, they put on a front to deceive other women to follow them in this debauchery. We will finish up with a clip of this woman who got so hurt and mad because Chad pumped and dumped her. So she went to find Chad's baby mama to get some information and closure.
I caught my ex-boyfriend living a double life, and this is how I got into contact with his son's mom, aka his relationship of 5 years. Now remember, we were broken up at this point, so I no longer had access to his Instagram, so I called up a girlfriend and I said, hey, can you look for every woman with this name? She sends me a screenshot of 3 women and we started digging. I had seen 1 or 2 like blurry photos of my...
Like, why do you care so much? The things ended. Just move the hell on. Stop trying to ruin people's lives.
Ex-boyfriend's child that he just found out about. And so I was able to identify the woman because we found a photo of her and her kid online. So we hop onto Truth Finder. We have her first name, her last name. We know what city she lived in. And we're calling all these phone numbers that Truth Finder had said were hers, and none of them were her number. So I head back over to Google. I search her first and her last name this time, and the city and state she lived in, and a public Instagram page with her and a friend. They own like a business together. That popped up. So you better believe we search for the friend on Truth Finder, find her phone number, give her a call. My girlfriend's like doing all the buffering. My girlfriend gives her a call and she's like, hi, is this so-and-so? Are you friends with so-and-so? And she's like, yeah. She's like, okay, well, like, hang tight. I've got this like crazy story to tell you. She's like, but I'm pretty sure that my friend and your friend are seeing the same guy. So bestie for the restie gets the baby mama on the phone. She gives me a call. We have a long chat. At this point, we're not even like upset with each other because like I was broken up with him and I just wanted the truth. She like knew he had been cheating and just didn't have enough proof and just was kind of like content with how life was. So yes, that is the story.
But you were together for 2 years.
How I found my ex-boyfriend's son's mom on the internet by only knowing her first name and the city she lived in.
There you have it, folks.
Stalkers.
Modern women will always chase after the thrill and the instant gratification. So be very careful to not fall into this spiral trap with them, and always protect yourself at all times.
Damn right.
And above all, don't forget to keep your head up, focus on your goals, and everything else will follow. I love you, and I appreciate you for all your support.
We love you too, HL Talk That Thought. I love your series. I know a lot of people use your videos and don't credit you, and I know you get upset about that, but I've always credited you and I always love featuring you. Why? Because the things you even say in the AI voice makes me think sometimes too, but sometimes I also feel I get a little soft and I feel, oh, you know what if they are this bad or whatever it is, like, oh. But then I watch his videos and I'm like, no, I shouldn't feel bad. They made these decisions. They chose this. I should be even more irate than feel sad for them. Why? Because these are other men that these women are doing it to, and we can see that it can easily be done to us. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that.